The category queue feature in this tool is super powerful, but a little bit complicated. So let me show you what it does and how to set it up. So what it does, in short, is lets you queue up a bunch of posts in a category and kind of feeds them all in, sort of like Buffer does. Where it gets different, though, is when it runs out of posts, it just repeats the same posts again in the queue, which means you should have a lot of different kinds of posts in here, or things could get repetitive very quickly. But I'll show you what I mean. I'll show you some examples. Let's dig in a little bit. So to get this going, you need to go to Settings in your social planner first. You go to Social Categories and set up a category for it. So I'll set up a new social category. You see my quotes one here. We'll dig into that in a moment. We'll set up a new category. Call it maybe technical if you have technical posts you want to get out. So add that category, and then we can edit this category. You can kind of see, you can change colors, do that kind of stuff. But cool. So let's go back. We have that category now. So now if we want to add a new post, we can add a new post and add it to a category queue. So which queue do you want to add it to? And we want to add it to technical. And so it has two options here. Enable future post queuing, so automatically queue any new post created. We certainly want that. And then prioritize new content. So this means if you have your queue already going, you add something new to it, that goes to the front of the line, which we generally want because my queue will grow over time. If I have something new, I want to get that out now and then have it show up again way down the line. So yeah, both those sound good. Let's continue. Next, it asks when you want your post to go out. So we might say Sunday, we'll do it at 12:02 p.m. And then we can say, let's duplicate this to every day of the week. We want to go every day of the week. So let's do that. There's every day of the week. We can customize these, of course, to make them different. We may say our audience on Fridays, I want to get them right before they end their workday. So let's hit them at 4, maybe 4:30, something like that. We'll save that one. And then also, they're online a lot on Mondays. Let's do a second one on Monday. So I can hit plus here. So we'll do it 12:02, and we'll also catch one a little later in the afternoon, maybe at 2:45 or something like that. Have it go out then. So we've got that. Now what's going to happen is when we add posts, they're going to go in order and fill these posts. One's going to go out Sunday at 12:02. The next one will go out Monday at 12:02. The next one will go out Monday at 2:45. It'll keep filling posts. Then when it runs out of posts, it'll just go to the top line. And that first one then goes out again on Thursday and Friday. So again, you can see if you don't have many different posts in this queue, it's going to repeat stuff very quickly. So I encourage you to have either a ton of great unique content in there or have relatively few places to go. But we'll say queue posts here. So this queue is built now. It's going to say an error because you don't have anything set up. You need to have something in the queue to make it work. So we'll select a social account. I have my quotes group. I have a separate video on quotes you can check out, or on groups, excuse me, how to set those up. We can do that. We can then add our content, whatever we want to say, add an image, all that kind of stuff, add it to the queue, and off we go. We're not going to do this for now. I don't want to mess up this technical queue with my other stuff. But I'm going to show you what I've done in my main queue. So we will we'll discard whatever we've done here. Let's just get out of this. So let's go back, though. So we have this quotes queue, which I have 36 different posts in there. So 36 pieces of content that repeat. So once a day, so 7 times a week. So every 5 weeks or so it repeats, although I'm adding more to it consistently. So that's how that works. We can go in and look at this. We can look at the queue preference and stuff. We can look at the queue calendar. This is kind of neat just to see when the posts are going to go out. So we can see, like today, as I'm recording this, your brand is simply what others think of you. So that's going out on February 7th. But if I go into March, you'll see it's all unique, separate posts until, it looks like about March 15th. Your brand is simply what others think of you. That's kind of when it restarts the queue again. So I've got that long to add more in. And eventually, if it repeats a little bit, that's fine. People aren't watching my stuff that closely that if I have the same quote show up 5 weeks later, is probably unique. But the more I can add, the better I can do. The other thing you can do in here too is in these quotes, you can, or in these groups, you can edit the queue. Look at the settings here and kind of rearrange things. You say, you know what, that is the newest one, but I really want to do something different. So you can kind of drag and drop, move things in a different order, play with them that way. But yeah, if you use it again, I encourage you to either add a lot of posts to it. 36 I don't think is enough. I plan to add more to that. The general consensus is if you're going to do it every day, you should have at least 90. At least once a quarter is probably the most you should repeat. Up to you, though. Or you could, again, have fewer posts, but also fewer days a week. That'll make things stretch out longer. But yeah, once you get it set up, just add a new post to the category queue, choose the queue you want to add it to, and off you go. And you can add your post and get it done. Hope that helps. Thanks.